Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things AEW and WWE. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions on everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. Join us as we dive into the high octane action, dramatic storylines, and backstage buzz of AEW and WWE. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling. Welcome, ladies and gents, to the Top Tier Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Diamond Dallas Dawn, joined as always by my co-host, Macho Man Joshy Savage. We're here to cover the WWE PLE Wrestlepalooza. So, let's get into it.
Diamond Dallas Dawn is right. You certainly make me want to yell bang. So this PLE Wrestlepalooza
oh my God.
is noteworthy for a couple of reasons. One, it is the first major PLE that is happening since WWE signed their big deal with ESPN. So it's being broadcast on ESPN. And they made sure on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown leading into it that R-Truth and just about everybody else made sure that people knew how to access the app and watch it.
But they used R-Truth to do it, so it's okay because people love him.
Yeah, it would have been funnier if the bit hadn't been the exact same one twice, and that's with other folks making sure we understood it in between.
What? You don't love that?
It really does seem like you're talking out of both sides of your face when I can hear them say that they think wrestling fans are becoming more sophisticated, yet they still talk to us like we're stupid.
Yeah. Probably because their ESPN app thingy is confusing as fuck. Probably because of that. And they were trying to make that shit make sense, especially because it was kind of a last minute thing because they had been having issues. Most of the people didn't even have the fucking app at the time. The actual thing that they're trying to sell people on, the ESPN app pack, is so expensive that most people won't actually buy this. So yeah, this is a clusterfuck that goes well beyond this one PLE.
Well, and then the other noteworthy thing is that this is yet more hurriedly booked piece of counter programming against their non-competition over in AEW.
I don't even know why you brought up AEW. They are not competing against AEW. I don't even think half the people at WWE know what AEW is. Okay, it's not even a thing for them. They're not competing with that show. They just happen to also want to have a PLE on the exact same day that they are having one of their really huge PLEs. I don't understand what the deal is. Okay. Like, I don't even know that Triple H knows anything about some what was it called again?
AEW.
Yeah. Ow. Okay, he doesn't know what that is.
Yeah, for the longest time I thought it was a root beer.
Yeah, he's a busy man. Okay, running the only wrestling promotion alive.
Yeah, he's certainly still not butthurt over losing Will Ospreay to them.
No, he didn't even want Will Ospreay.
Nah.
Will Ospreay didn't even work, okay? Like, Will Ospreay doesn't work hard at all. Like, now his neck's hurt. Yeah, okay, you gotta be off for surgery. Please. Okay?
Yeah.
The only thing
look,
that's keeping...
money saved right there. Look at that, Triple H. It worked out in your favor.
Yeah.
No, you're right. My bad. I shouldn't have brought it up.
Although with the way that they'd want Will Ospreay to wrestle, I don't think he would ever have his neck injured. I think he'd be the safest wrestler alive. He'd be, that'd be his new name.
Safest wrestler alive?
Yeah,
I could dig it.
because all they would want to do is take Will Ospreay. I don't give a fuck what y'all think. This is my opinion, real talk. All they would do. Let me tell you what WWE would do to Will Ospreay. He's huge. People freaking love him. He's a huge deal in the UK. He's a huge
What?
deal here in the States now. He is. That dude is probably one of the best wrestlers of our generation. Like, that dude is good. He will be remembered. That's a Hall of Famer right there. I don't give a fuck what promotion he's on. But let me tell you what would happen. AEW would raise this man up. WWE would seek to just own him. They would buy him as if he were a hamster, and then they'd put him in a golden cage, meaning he wouldn't do half the stuff that he got famous for. He
Yeah,
wouldn't do
but he'd
that.
get to hang out and chill with Omos.
But he'd get to hang out and chill with fucking Omos. They collect wrestlers like they're like it's a circus. Yeah, that's pretty much they need the most exotic. They need the craziest. They need the best of the best to sit on the sidelines while they push okay wrestlers. Sorry, Cody. I mean, we'll talk about that later.
Well, that is kind of an interesting point. There's people that will collect like action figures, for example, and they'll never take them out of the package and never play with them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but wasn't the point to take them out of the package and play with them?
No, it's to collect them and then show them off to their friends. Like, look, I own this person. Look, this person was the best in their division, and now they're here. Yeah, no, he was the best of the best. You should have seen him back in the day. And he didn't do any of that stuff now, but back in the day, ooh wee, when he was with someone else, yeah, he was crazy, man. He did all kinds of fucking stunts and just the best wrestler alive right here.
Wait.
That's this guy.
When did we start talking about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? Oh, sorry.
Pick a wrestler, bro. Hey, when did we start talking about Chelsea Green? Yeah.
I mean, go take a look at her wrestling Penta. Oh, that's another good example. Go take a
Yeah.
look at her wrestling Penta in Lucha Underground and tell me that they're making the most of that woman.
They're not. Yeah, when did we start talking about God, Charlotte Flair? When did we start talking about Alexa Bliss? When did we start talking about Rhea Ripley? Seeing her. When's the last time we saw her in a match?
Yep.
So now Stephanie has the belt, which means we won't see her in a match for at least another 6 months. She's gonna sit on the sidelines like we forgot. Did we forget what they did with Io when she had the belt? Yeah. So this is a shit show.
I agree on all fronts with everything being said here, by the way.
I don't think they know what to do with people winning actual. Like, I don't think they know how that works anymore. I don't think they know what to do. I don't think they understand what a fighting champion is. But go to their non-competition AEW and tell me they don't understand what a fighting champion is.
Yep.
Tell me that tell me my man Hangman Adam Page ain't working Saturday for Collision, Wednesday for Dynamite, any PLEs they have, any at home or home shows they have, dark, whatever. Tell me he ain't there wrestling with somebody that just started. Tell me he ain't there. Come on.
That's the key term, wrestling. Like, he ain't showing up just to talk our ears off.
No.
But I agree with all that, and I'll be happy to get into it more, like, kind of near the end when we're kind of giving our general thoughts.
No, just so you guys know, this PLE pissed me off. We'll get into it.
Yeah, I was about to say something similar. Like, if you can't tell from our tone, Wrestlepalooza kind of was a letdown. Now, there is a shiny, spectacular diamond in there, but it is a diamond that is kind of floating in a mediocre sea of shit.
Yeah, not even a good pile of shit. It ain't even you can't even look at it and go, oh, that's a healthy turd. No, it's just you're like, this person is sick and needs to see a doctor. That kind of shit. It's like a dog that got into beer. That's the kind of shit we're dealing with.
And just to cover all the bases, our commentators this evening were Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, and a surprising return of Pat McAfee.
Made me happy. I did like seeing Pat.
Indeed. And of course, we had ring announcer Alicia Taylor, and that is our supporting cast for this PLE. It had a relatively nice intro from Triple H. Triple H, I think where he does really well is he likes to do these very dramatic intros, and I think he still really likes doing that part of the business. I remember just recently, like, people were flipping out because Triple H in the NXT ring portraying Triple H. Like, he is an actor, guys. You know that, right? Like, that is 50% of his whole job while he was in WWE was 50% actor, 50% stuntman. He's only really kind of stopped doing the stunts. He still does all the acting.
Yeah. He stopped the stunts because he had to.
Yep. But the show opens with John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, because I guess Brock wanted to show up, trash the place, and go have dinner, really quickly.
Yeah.
Steak. Now it was interesting that as Alicia Taylor was giving the introductions for everybody, Paul Heyman interrupts her to introduce Brock Lesnar, just like they used to always do. And just to kind of open with my thoughts on this match, it pretty much seemed to me like once the bell rang, it was the Brock Lesnar show. He then proceeded to basically stomp Cena for 95% of the match, with only really one kind of explosion of offense from Cena, in which he landed 3 attitude adjustments that Brock then kicked out of. And then he attempted to do the 5-knuckle shuffle, and Brock decided he was going to do the 3 F5 shuffle instead. And that pretty much led to Cena getting his ass beat, and that was the match. It was a pretty much a shit smear squash match against John Cena. After the match, after the 3rd F5, Brock was able to pick up the pinfall, after which he got out of the ring, then got back in the ring, F5 to the referee, and then F5 John Cena one more time. And that was it. I mean, I guess it was a strong opener from the standpoint of who was in it. It was Brock Lesnar, who has just made his return to the WWE, and he still looks like he's in ridiculously good shape, in some respects better shape than when he was 20 years younger. But what I felt is contentious about this match is that it didn't give people what they wanted to see, which is Cena, since he stopped being douche face heel, finally squeak out a win against his nemesis Brock Lesnar. Now, for me, I felt like it was Cena kind of staying true to how the history of their matchups between him and Brock have gone in the past. And since Cena's on the way out and Brock, as near as I can tell, might be coming back for the foreseeable future, I think he put him over one final time. It wasn't an epic match, but and I know people are very disappointed with the result, but I think it's the match result that history shows to be what happens when Cena gets in the ring with Brock. What were your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was shit. I am one of those people that wanted to see John Cena win. They wasted the first half of this dude's reunion, or I'm sorry, his exit tour, on him being the shittiest, stupidest heel that they could think of. Wasted people's time
True
with
facts.
that. Gave us half-ass matches for the first half of his retirement run. And I know, he's supposed to leave on his back or leave out on his back or whatever, but they didn't seem to remember that when they had him as a heel. So I would like for them to fucking forget it now. He gets in the ring with what is arguably his biggest challenge. And you've squandered the first half of his retirement. Now he's here with one of his big obstacles that he needs to overcome, and you still have him lose. And not only do you have him lose, It would have been okay if this had been a match where it was like, oh my god, this is neck and neck match of this. No, this was, I'm just going to use Brock Lesnar to destroy John Cena. It's fine. He's on the way out. And, you know, Brock Lesnar's going to be here for a while. You did that in the name of, I'm assuming that. I mean, that's the only logic that I can think of. That would make any sense to me. But then it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense to me because WWE has never been so hell-bent on keeping up appearances while having a show that shows people how shit's done in the background. I don't think that they are now so hell-bent on being true to storyline that they have to have John Cena lose this match. Unless they're planning another match between these two gentlemen at another time, then this was a squandered opportunity and it was boring. And it's not how you open a PLE where you're trying to get people interested in your fucking PLE. You don't start out by squashing 98% of the reason most of those people bought your stupid tickets. You know goddamn well those people were there to see John Cena. You gonna fucking have him get his ass squashed. That was, I think it was the wrong move. And I hated it. Listen, I've never been like, you know, a huge fan of John Cena. I'm not saying that I disliked him, but I've never been a huge fan. But now that he's retiring, there are certain things that I want to see, which is why when they started out with him being a heel, I was like, you guys are already fucking up for me, but okay, let's see where this is going. And then when it went fucking nowhere, I was like, okay, well, let's see what they do now. And then they give us, slightly better matches. I'm not gonna lie, they were a tad bit better than what they gave us when he was a heel, which was slow, boring. I'm sorry, they thought it was methodical. It was not. It was morose and fucking stupid. And I fucking hated those matches too. I hated those matches too. So, yeah, you make him a face and then you give us slightly better matches and I appreciate that. But then you decided to squash that dude? You decided to squash... Like, you owe this dude all kinds of ass kissery. You don't even fucking act like John Cena wasn't one of the reasons your light stayed on after the Attitude Era. You didn't have no fucking body else. Get out of here. That dude saved your fucking business how many times? And this is the fucking retirement run that you give him? And John Cena forever being the yes captain type dude, the best fucking goddamn soldier out there. Somebody that they are going to sorely miss when he is no longer there. Think you ain't gonna miss him, you're gonna fucking miss that dude because there aren't too many wrestlers that got that kind of game. They ain't got that kind of mic work. They ain't got that kind of ability in the fucking ring. They don't have that kind of yes captain type fucking attitude. You're wasting his fucking retirement. It angers me.
Hey, 2025 is a bad time to have your final match or retire. It has been a shit show for John Cena because of the completely epically failed heel turn. And I mean, what's the other example? The last match of Bill Goldberg that they cut him off during his speech.
Yeah, because fuck what he wants to say.
They're batting 1,000 on these last and retirement type scenarios.
Like, the only thing they really give a shit about, the only thing they focus on is how much they can sell these tickets for. How much can we sell this t-shirt for? How much merchandise can we get out there? I wonder how soon, as soon as Stephanie I wonder how soon, the second she showed up, if they had her horns backstage for sale for like $50 for kids.
Oh, they probably had the merchandise made before she was on the roster proper.
Look, this PLE and the fact that they put it on the same day that AEW had All Out was already a piss poor move. And then you give us a piss poor show on top of it. And you know it's shit. But hey, it's too late. These people have already bought their tickets. They've already bought their their subscription to ESPN the fuck ever. So it's too late. It doesn't matter if they don't like it. The fact is, it made a lot of money, and that's all we're here for. Apparently, that's all Triple H is here for. He's not here to do creative. Creative. He's trying creative ways to take your fucking money. That's what he's doing.
On that note, it's interesting you should say that, and I feel like we're kind of giving our review away here early, but
well, I can't help it. They gave away what to expect early.
What I wanted to point out is ESPN gave the show a rating. They rated it a C.
Yeah,
and
I think they're being nice.
That I think they are being nice, but that's as nice as they could get away with being, and that should just tell you something right there. They have every vested interest in being as nice as they could be here, and they only give them a C. But yeah, the first match was this criticism I think will follow me for most of the matches on the card. This isn't something that somebody should go out of their way to have paid to have seen. And that's the problem I'm increasingly having with like WWE's PLEs is that like and Saturday Night Main Event is not a good example. It's not a PLE, it's a special, but
yeah.
Their PLEs don't feel like they're worth paying extra to go out of your way to see, because a lot of times you end up getting stuff here of late, especially that you could have watched on Raw or SmackDown. And honestly, if you watch tonight's Monday Night Raw or, the SmackDown coming, you'll probably see 90% of it, because they will fill both of those shows will be like ed up with like 15 to 20 minutes of full recap of everything that happened on this PLE. Yeah. So you're not going to miss anything if you missed this. And that's a problem. Like what is the selling point then? Because it seems to me like in an era where they are bragging about how they're selling out arenas and they're charging the most they can get away with for the tickets, and they're making these billion-dollar deals and whatnot, the quality of what we're getting is actually going the other direction.
Yeah.
And that's not good. I say that as a concerned fan. I want this to be good. I got into podcasting about wrestling because I love fucking pro wrestling. I don't want to sit here and have to tell you how much this sucked.
Yeah.
But to be fair, if I'm going to tell you about this and not just delude myself or glaze the WWE, I have to tell you that this kind of sucked. Again, with one super notable exception, and it needs to be pointed to. But we'll get there. But yeah, this Cena and Lesnar match, I almost said Cena and Lesnar. This match was not the phenomenal epic conclusion to their story that I wanted to see. This really was just like watching Brock smear smash and squash Cena all over again.
This was garbage.
And I get that you want to put Brock over because we haven't seen him in a long time. He comes back, he looks phenomenal. He stayed in shape despite the fact that it was unclear if he would still be in the WWE or not. He didn't show really any ring rust. So yeah, I get that. And I get that Cena's on the way out, but you don't need to just utterly bury John Cena here. You could have made this a more epic battle.
Yeah. Yeah, I do not disagree. As you know, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
No. Yeah. You were kind of vague and minced your words a little bit, but I think it came through that you were unhappy with this. Not an epic start that I hoped it would be, because like you see the names, you see Brock Lesnar and John Cena, and admittedly, I would have not given that credit like a few months ago when John Cena was doing the heel thing, at which point I was like, can you hurry up and retire? Because this sucks.
Yeah.
But with him having made his dramatic return to form and being a face, and then Brock Lesnar having his big return, I really had hoped for more of an epic and pitched battle, but this really was just Lesnar throwing Cena around like it was easy all night.
Yeah, and again, I even would have been okay with them giving us a win for Lesnar, but a really good neck and neck match where finally John Cena was given as good as he could get. No, you guys didn't even do that. You had Lesnar come in there and do his little squash shit, and then that was that. And I know Brock Lesnar is a fucking imposing force. Like, he's giant, he's fast, he's awesome. But
Yeah, his
they even
legitimacy is established. Yes. Sorry, go
but
ahead.
but they even have his fucking nuts in a vice. He can only do so much. He can only come out there and do like 2 or 3 fucking moves as if he doesn't know how to wrestle. This dude knows what. Look, I don't even. I know we have other matches to talk about, but this was just the wrong move. It was the wrong start to the show. It was the wrong vibe that you wanted to I think that you wanted to put out there. It was just the worst. And why were there ads during this PLE?
Yeah.
¿Por
Yep.
qué? Como ads? What? Why are there ads in this? Are you fucking serious, WWE?
Because WWE can't keep the lights on without them.
Because money, right? Sure. Cool. That's cool. As long as everybody's eating well, I guess. And this dude, there was a sign out there that said, "I sold my house to be here." Which was funny, but that dude might be telling the truth. I'm not.
Yeah,
like,
it
he
would be
might have
funny if it wasn't believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, I bet if they interviewed him, he might be like, "Yeah, I sold my house." I wouldn't put it.
Yep.
I would not be surprised. I would be disappointed. But I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, shit opener, guys. That's on God. Shit opener.
Well, if you liked that, you're going to love what comes next.
Oh,
which
good
brings us to our
Lord.
second match. The recently reunited and having their first match since Usos versus the Bron Brons, aka the Vision, with Paul Heyman. And as we found out earlier in the evening during, I guess, the pre-show, for the record, we almost never watched the pre-show, so we found out about it in real time. LA Knight will be the special guest referee for this match.
Now, I'm going to say... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to give it over to you since I gave my thoughts on the first match first. So go ahead.
I was going to say that when it comes to LA Knight, I guess that was supposed to be like a surprise because, Triple H kept talking about how many surprises there were going to be at this PLE and how this is going to, be like another WrestleMania. Yeah, bull and shit. But okay, whatever, bruh. But I guess this was like, oh my god, what a surprise! Okay, so Friday when we were watching SmackDown, and I saw the childlike temper tantrums that LA Knight and Jey Uso were having, and Jimmy, like, this was just such a fucking stupid story. I'm sorry, it was confusing and unnecessary. But when I saw him, I said to Josh, okay, so I guess he's gonna be showing up somehow at the PLE, and I think Josh said something about him being a special guest rep or something like that. So we were already joking that this was gonna happen. So when we saw him, nobody was like, "Oh my god, what a crazy turn of events!" Well, now it's making sense. No, nobody thought that.
Yeah, and I think I even went on record saying that the Usos will not win this because somehow LA Knight will be involved. Now, it didn't play out exactly how I thought. I thought LA Knight's involvement would be very direct. It didn't quite play out that way, but the prediction stood nonetheless.
Yeah, his ass was still there. And again, this was absolutely unnecessary. Not only was this a confusing jumble of what the fuck's happening, the storyline, that is, so was the match. The match was just full of It was like the Usos had done 2 or 3 lines of the best cocaine they had ever been given. Um, and it's and on the contrary, it seemed like Bronson and
Breaker.
oh my Breaker, yeah, Bronson and Breaker. Uh, it was like they had some of the best like Swedish Chiba that they could find. Like they had the best devil lettuce that anybody had ever given them. So now they were just slow motion fighting. Um, this I mean to say that both parties, both tag teams seemed disjointed. They didn't seem like they were on this like dancing to the same song. Um, it seemed like the Usos were listening to Korn backstage, and the Bronsons were listening to Harry Connick Jr. Um, they were enjoying some Fred Astaire, some Frank Sinatra, if you will, some good old start spread the news. So they were just loosey goosey and chill, and you know that was not the Usos. So I was not. I was concerned that Jay ended up getting injured like towards the end of the match, but I wasn't surprised. There seemed to be just it was almost as if they had never wrestled against each other ever, like not even during practice. That's what it felt like. Now
Mm-hmm.
I did say early on that the Vision needs to win this match. So the Usos not winning was not the issue. The Usos wrestling very carelessly was. This match, honestly, this match was just like a disjointed dance. This was a um yeah, it was just a jumble of nerves of what the fuck are we doing? And no team, neither team comes out looking really good. And that's not what we wanted for the Vision. Now, overall, they win the match. And that was I'm assuming the most important um for the storyline. I just wish that it had been conveyed a tad bit better. I just this match needed to be tight. It needed to have both groups look really well, and the Usos needed to sell uh the Vision. Like I even think that's why they were put together, because the Usos by name and by lineage, they're like some of the best uh tag team, like one of the best tag team groups that WWE has right now. Um, so the representation was there just by name alone. And all they needed to do was really put the Vision over. That's something that they need, and they're getting there. They're getting there. Um, Paul Heyman, perfect choice. Uh, Seth Rollins, I thought for a while was the perfect choice. I don't know what they're doing there either. This separate thing where Seth is over here doing this and he's not involved with his fucking faction. Um, is confusing, but they have this, and also Becky is supposed to be part of the Vision as well. So both of these two people needed to be with their faction, but they had another match. Again, that's fine. I'm not saying they shouldn't have wrestled. I just feel like there should have been more imagery of them being with their faction. That's all I'm saying. Uh, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But this match was not the worst match of the night, but it certainly was not the best. I mean, this was probably a D, at best, and that's kind of most of the matches, save one tonight.
Yeah. I would
And
like
we're
to
getting
speak.
there.
I
Please.
would like to speak to your point about like the separation from like Seth and Becky's stuff. I think they heard it when people maybe suggested like us. Again, I don't know if any of them ever listen to our podcast. It would be hubris to think they do, but sometimes they react as if they heard what we said.
Yeah.
And we had said that this is a stable of champions and we don't want to see Breaker and Reed get lost in the shuffle. And I think they heard that, but then they went way the other direction. Now it's like they're on different wavelengths, like Seth is way out of the way of letting Reed and Breaker kind of show out and do their thing, not casting his shadow upon them. And it's like you went a little too far that way. It almost feels like they're not all part of the same damn faction. Like you said, I appreciate you giving Breaker and Reed the chance to shine and do their own mic work and show out and not get lost in the in Seth's vision entirely, but they still need to feel like they're in the same orbit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree with you there. And to kind of give my thoughts on this match, I wasn't floored by it either.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is, as mentioned earlier, LA Knight was made the special guest referee, but as has been the case of late with these match types, because it's almost like 2K25 added special guest ref mode back, and the WWE was like, oh yeah, that's right, we do that, don't we? And now we have lots more special guest referee matches. Like we just did the one with Bianca Belair twice. And here's the issue, though. It really doesn't matter that much if you're going to put the ref. If you put the ref into the match and the ref does not do anything. LA Knight let both sides get away with a lot, but he really didn't show any favoritism. And so it really didn't, as a match gimmick, do anything for it. Like, what would have been compelling to have him be the special guest referee is for him to some extent interfere and play favorites. Because without that, you just have a superstar giving a ref the night off.
That's pretty much what
other than that, I agree with what you were saying about this match. And it's another one that we could have just seen as a match on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
The double spear of the Usos through the table leading into a tsunami on Jay is how this match ended. And the only other real significant thing of note is that Jay busted open his own head bouncing a chair off a big Bronson Reed, and so it rebounds back into his face and causes him to just start bleeding like a stuck pig. And so now he's sitting with a concussion protocol going on. But that was it. I mean, there was potential here with the reunification of the Usos and a good showing, a good back and forth match. And this was kind of a sloppy crap match. And it was one, again, that was not worthy of going out of your way to pay to see. Because they could have just shown you this on Raw or SmackDown. And they will, because they will take precious time out of those shows to recap it ad nauseum. I promise you. So I agree with you. This was another kind of mediocre match that had potential. The names involved have potential. It was not anywhere near realized in this particular showing.
No, they did a disservice to both groups here. To both. And like, again, and all of these things, all of these matches could have also done with more time to bake. They all could have done with that. Even CM Punk and Seth Rollins and AJ Lee and Becky Lynch could have spent more time letting the actual issue burn instead of them shoving as much nauseating bullshit down our throat as they possibly could in like 3 shows. If they had done this a different way, man. But that's not what they did, because again, they had to have this shit ready suddenly the day of another PLE from their non-competitors. You did a disservice to your fans, you did a disservice to your fucking wrestlers, which is what you always do. You did everybody a disservice except for whoever is lining your pockets. Like in the back there, No,
I don't know. As fans who pay for tickets or paid to watch this on ESPN, I think the folks that line their
Should
pockets are not being served.
Yeah, no, they did everybody a disservice. Even those people, the people that they work for, they did a disservice to. ESPN, they did a disservice to. Like, new fans that were just like, oh yeah, okay, it's on ESPN, sure, I'll watch it. Even knew you did a disservice to everybody involved. But I guess it's okay because you made that money.
Yeah. And I don't know how long that trend will continue if the quality of the product continues to decline.
Ain't nobody leaving them. Like, all you have to do is look at, and this is way, way off topic, and I'll just say this and we can come right back to wrestling, but all you have to do is look at the gaming industry to see that people ain't leaving nothing. They're gonna keep accepting bullshit and then they'll complain about it, but they'll still be there. Ain't nobody like WWE, that ship. It's a corporation. It's too big to fail. Yeah, it's a joke, guys. Like honestly, they did everybody wrong with this PLE. I cannot get over how surprised. I knew it was gonna be like a rush job. The second that I saw the date that it was supposed to happen on, I knew that it was gonna be a rush job. But I just didn't expect this. God, this was middle school drama levels bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
Just in case y'all didn't know.
However,
I hope Jey Uso got better.
Yes. However, we do, after this match, we come to the shiny, bright diamond high spot of the evening.
Oh,
and
yes.
that is the Women's World Championship match with no defending champion, mind you. This is for the vacated title that Naomi had to leave because she's going to go be and gain the best title. She's going to go be a mom.
Baby Uso.
So we've got Io Sky and Stephanie McCurr fighting for the relinquished title of WWE Women's World Championship. And if you don't mind, I'm going to start off on this one. This was easily match of the night. Io and McCurr pulled out all the stops and gave us a 5-star banger. Both of these women absolutely can go in the ring, and they did. I thought for sure, somehow, some way, Asuka was going to cause interference. Didn't end up being the case. These two women just put on a clinic in the ring. And after a tremendous back and forth match between Io and McCurr, Io goes for the over the moonsault, but I think I'm saying her name wrong. Vaquer rolls out of the way, which resulted in Io pretty much belly flopping in the middle of the ring. And this particularly hurt her knee, which had been worked on for a good portion of this match. And it allowed Vaquer to ascend to the top rope and hit something we hadn't seen on her use on the main roster. I don't know if we've ever seen her hit it ever, but it was certainly a first time for me. She hits a version of spiral tap that looked outstanding.
Fantastic, yeah.
And picks up the win. And this was the best match of the night easily. And not just because it was, this isn't a case where this was an okay match because all the other matches sucked. This was a banger on any night. This would have been a banger on the best WrestleMania you've ever seen. This would have been a banger if they had put this on for AEW. And that's saying something because the in-ring and the work rate over there is way higher than what's being expected of WWE superstars these days. This was a absolute 5-star. These two women tore the roof off the place. And the only negative thing I can think to say about this match is that it is unfortunate that this match was in such an otherwise mediocre PLE, because I hate to think it's going to get lost in the mediocrity of what was surrounding them in the rest of the show. That's it. This was the show. This was the thing that gave you some of your money's worth for this Wrestlepalooza PLE. This was the thing to watch. I would absolutely recommend that if you see no other portion of Wrestlepalooza, you go and you watch this match. This match was outstanding. And I think if I were to say more, I would just be repeatedly saying outstanding. So I turn it over to you. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, this match was the match of the night. It was the only match as far as I was concerned. This was an A plus, and both ladies just destroyed. This was more like what I had hoped the Brock Lesnar versus John Cena match would have been. Where you really don't know who's gonna come out on top here. Like they are both giving it their all. Um, yeah, it was, and I hate to say less about something that I liked. Um, but there really isn't much else to say except the fact that they were phenomenal. Stephanie, Vicaire, she may have just gotten there, but she ain't new to wrestling. This ain't new to her. She is a professional, and she definitely. I see her having a good, long, successful career. Um, Wherever she goes, wherever she is, and yeah, this was. I hope that they do not now put a collar on her and not give her any matches. I hope they don't pull a Io Sky run and have her just holding the belt until people forget she even has a belt. Um, I also
Yeah.
don't want them to give her a a championship run that's just pointless, like a waste of time, like what they're doing with Becky Lynch. Um, I honestly feel like they could have kept the belt on Lyra because that's what the belt was for. But we're getting completely off topic, or I'm getting off topic. I just don't. I hope that they have good plans. I hope that they got something going or something in mind for Stephanie's run because she is not a champion that they should just take lightly. Like she should be a fighting champ.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
yeah,
I don't think it's off topic. I think it's tangential to the specifics of this match, but
yeah,
I do think you're making very valid points because Io Sky's run was wasted. Julia's is currently wasted.
yeah.
I
Oh,
agree with
Bryce,
everything you
Jesus.
just said about Becky Lynch dominating a mid-card title when she's been like at the top of the mountain and she's apparently the best wrestler and she's not the only one saying it, blah blah blah, barf. Um
Yeah. And see, the problem with that though is you have one of the best female wrestlers to date. She is one of the four horsewomen. Uh, you have her holding up a mid card belt as if to say this is as good as I am, and I am surprised that people are okay with this. I'm surprised that Becky is okay with this. And I
yeah.
know she's got a heel turn, but yeah, all this is doing in my humble opinion, all this is doing is bringing down not only the value of that uh of her run, but of the wrestler herself. Like this
Yeah.
is
Yep.
like
I
really?
I agree. I feel like what started out as a main eventer trying to lend mid-card title some clout has gotten completely diluted, and is now doing kind of the opposite, where it's pulling her clout down that the mid-card is what she seems to be happy and settle with. And even there, it looks like the direction is going to turn into Becky versus Bailey because Lyra's been like stipulated out of challenging Becky Lynch again for it. So it's going to be a battle between two of the horsewomen who are absolutely main event talents with the mid carder sitting along the sidelines to watch. So what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Um
I have to say I don't think it's Bailey anymore. I don't think we're gonna see that. I think we're gonna see Bailey and Lyra doing whatever weird storyline they got going there, and I think the next person to hold that belt is gonna be AJ Lee.
oh, you know what? You might be right. They may pivot and do that, but at any rate, like I mean, it has completely lost its relevance as a mid card title to have main event talents fighting for it. This would
Yeah,
be like Hulk Hogan being happy with being Intercontinental Champion, or Roman Reigns coming and being the U.S. champ and being satisfied with that. It makes less than no sense.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just a mess with the women's title booking, which was the original point that you had kind of illustrated by going down the list. Like
Yeah.
Julia, what she's been champion now for going on what 2 months, and we haven't seen shit from that run. And she's
Yup.
not performed in any PLE since she's been champion. What is wrong with her? Why did you put the belt on her if you don't want to utilize her and you're just wasting it? So, I mean, I agree with everything you had to say. They wasted
Yeah.
Io's last title run. I don't want to see Vicares get wasted. Um, but you've made an excellent case that they don't seem to know what the fuck to do with these women's championships.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't know. I don't listen, I don't know why they don't know, but for some reason they just don't know what the fuck to do. Like
Yeah,
that's clearly
and that's
that's
unfortunate.
gotta be that's gotta be the case. So yeah. Um and you know, putting the belt on AJ Lee ain't really the flex that they might think it is either. Um like you took that belt so that you created that belt so that the mid card women's division could have something to fight over, and instead you've taken it and used it as um another belt similar to the one that Stephanie Vicaire just won, or Vicaire just won, and man, I don't know, I don't think I think they've lost track of what this belt was supposed to represent. Um, when women like Chelsea Green and Lara Valkyria, Lara Valkyria, when they had these belts, I felt as if they understood who should have the belts. And then they just kind of went off left field, man. And I guess with Julia, they understand that who's supposed to have the belt, but they just kind of lost their way here with this belt and Becky Lynch. And I'm not sure how they're gonna fix this, or if there's
I
any
mean,
way to fix it.
unless the intention is to now send Lyra up the card and have her compete for the heavyweight championship or the women's world championship, it just seems like it's caught in a main eventer limbo where it's not actually being utilized for the mid card.
Yeah. Which, that defeats the purpose of why it was created.
Yeah, and as far
But
as Julia goes, she is a mid carder. That's true. But if you don't do anything with her, then what's it matter that you put the belt on her? Like, it doesn't. It doesn't matter if she's never seen and all she does is eventually show up, lose it to someone, and that was it. That was the run.
yeah,
That would be Io Sky's last title run in a nutshell.
yeah,
So, yeah, it's not looking great. It really isn't on that front. The women's champions just seem very, very messed up in the booking. Like, it really does come across that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
yeah. So yeah. But this match, third match of the night, we waited pretty much uh half of the night to have something worth the damn to watch, and they finally gave it to us in match 3. Um and it was great to see. It was a fantastic match.
Yeah, absolutely. Phenomenal match here. So phenomenal that it vests us into what they are going to do with Stephanie Vicaire. So much so that was the preceding conversation is please do something with her, because this was an epic match and a phenomenal first major title win for Stephanie. Please don't do her like you did Io. Don't do her like you're currently doing with whatever Becky Lynch is going on with that belt, and don't do her like you did Julia. I'm hoping that she gets booked phenomenally and we can absolutely care and be invested in what happens with your new women's world champion. That is my hope for. There you go. I'm not just giving you what I don't want to see. I'm telling you what I would like to see.
Yeah.
There you go. But that was the banger of the night. Moving on, we come to match 4: CM Punk and AJ Lee in a mixed tag match between them and Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Battle of the Married Couples. And I led off on the last one, so I will let you take the lead on your thoughts on this one.
I will say this. It was better than I had expected. But by the time we got here, by the time we got to this match, I was over this feud between CM Punk and AJ Lee, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Because I feel like they spent most of the time pushing the storylines for this match than they did anything else when it comes to this PLE. And it was just 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the same things over and over and over. Becky, quote unquote, bullying CM Punk. The first time that happened, I found it amusing. After that, I was like, oh my god, put her in a go to sleep already. AJ Lee skipping. Her getting in the ring. I know you guys like her, and I don't dislike her. It's just taking me a second to get used to a grown woman behaving like a 12-year-old girl. And I mean, guys, I mean no disrespect, but that's the whole theme, right? Isn't that what she's supposed to be doing? Or 16 maybe? Maybe 16. I don't know. And I'm not saying that that's bad. That just may be her vibe. That may be her energy. Hey, and I'm cool with that. I still have stuffed animals, you know, and I am not in my 20s. I'm old as shit. So I get it. I'm not, you know, dogging that, but I'm saying that has to be her character because I feel like that's the vibe that she's putting off. She skips to the ring. She walks as if she's an insecure adolescent child. She puts her hands behind her back. She like fiddles with her fingers. She cocks her head to the side. She acts like an inquisitive 12 to 14-year-old girl. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay, so
If she were acting for a part and her cues were to portray like a teen in the 90s in high school, that would be her character. So yeah, I think
yeah.
you're spot on.
So yeah, that's pretty much the vibe. And that just it's gonna take me a second to get used to because I don't know. I guess I may be a little tad bit conservative in my. Calm down, everybody. I said the C word, but I mean like in my female demeanor, I suppose. I should. I feel like women behave a certain way. And no, I'm not saying that I behave like a womanly woman all the time. You just heard the fucking language that I have here. So no, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
100% woman all the time.
I'm just saying that her presentation was a bit off-putting for me. So it's taking me a second, but you know, I've seen it. I've seen her standing around threatening grown men twice her size with her hands behind her back. I've had to hear Becky talking about how she's the best female wrestler, and it's not just her saying it. I've had to listen to not CM Punk, but I've had to listen to Seth Rollins go on and on about his beautiful wife while she talks about her hot husband. I've
hot
heard
husband?
This. Yeah, I've heard it over and over again. The only person in this entire feud that hasn't gotten on my ever-loving fucking last nerves is CM Punk.
Yeah, and do you know how annoying that means everyone else has to be?
You're goddamn right. CM Punk has been a breath of fresh air. The other night, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch come out, and they have to hit Seth's music first, and then they play a damn near the entire song, then they stop, and then Becky comes out. We have to listen to her new song, which is fucking stupid. I don't know if she loves the band. I'm sorry, it's not as bad. It's not as good of a banger as your original song. And considering that you are now in a mixed tag team uh with your husband, should you have the song that you used to have, the one that's literally Seth freaking Rollins' song sped up with a different beat? Like, it's literally the same thing. Guys, just go and listen to both songs. So why would you not have the same song? Because I mean, that's, right arm, left arm. Like, you guys are, twins. Like, I came out dressed the same for the PLE. I don't understand why your song was changed to Yeah,
Yeah, barf.
cool. I mean, if that's your style of music, I'm not judging that. I'm just saying I don't think it's
if that's your style of music, you're deaf.
if that's your style of music, then I don't think that you know that that's really, it's not really a good ring entrance song. It's just as bad as Hook's new song. Yeah, I said it. Get fucked. And it's a stupid song. The song itself is fine. But let's say you're a wrestler and you're coming out. That's what you want to come out to? Stop it. Get the fuck out of here. No. So it's not good. So we had to listen to both damn near full versions of each partner's song, and then they come out to the ring, and then we have to hear her going on and on about, she's the best wrestler alive, and then AJ Lee comes out and her music pops on, and then CM Punk comes out with her, and I was like, wait, are we not gonna hear both of their songs? No. They get into the ring, and Becky goes back to talking. There's more talking from Becky. There's more talking from Seth. And then CM Punk talks for 2 fucking seconds. And I'm telling you, the more things took place, the more there was a halo that started to appear above CM Punk's head. And I was like, well, this is crafty. If this is the true game or the true plot for WWE, if they're really trying to sell us on CM Punk, they're doing a great job right now. CM Punk for fucking president now, because he was the least annoying thing about. No, he was the least annoying thing about this feud. And I know everybody was super excited about that match. I know they were super excited. And I'm not going to dog the match. In fact, I'm going to say that was actually better than I thought it was going to be. And I will also say that AJ Lee does not appear to be suffering from ring rust. Oh, girl got in there and did the damn thing. She looked great in the ring. Is her wrestling style for me? No. That her style is not my cup of tea, but neither is CM Punk's wrestling style. It's not my cup of tea. As far as the wrestlers are concerned, I think my favorite out of these 4 individuals is technically Seth Rollins. I think he's a beast in the ring. You don't ever really get to see it now because he's a top wrestler in WWE, and they're not about showing you good wrestling. They just want the name. So you don't get to see it anymore. But I promise you guys, he is amazing in the ring.
Yeah, when he's allowed to be. Yep.
Yeah, when he's allowed, when they take his collar off, man, you're talking about some fantastic stuff. Same thing with Sami Zayn, by the way. Same thing with Kevin Owens. You guys have these. Go back and look at them. Go back and do some research on
El Generico. In NXT and on the Indies, yeah.
Because man, you're talking about like they are where they are because these dudes can fucking go. Sami is so much better than what WWE has allowed him to be. I appreciate the fact that they gave us a little taste of his personality by putting him with the Usos. They could do more of that because you get to really see that the dude's really he's got a great personality. He shines bright when he has the opportunity to do so, or the correct storylines to do so. But the dude is a fantastic wrestler. Probably one of the best. He's fantastic. I'm telling you. Just go back. Don't go back and go before he's WWE. Go to NXT. Go to the El Generico days. Go back, and you'll see. Oh yeah, he can, and he still can go. He's just not allowed. He's not allowed. But let's get back to this match. This, honestly, like I said, this was better than I thought it was going to be. I was fully expecting this to be garbage. I didn't know if AJ Lee was going to be any good. I hadn't seen her, and I hadn't gone back to watch any of her matches. Uh, I wanted to judge her based on what we were given now, and judging her based on that. I think she's a pretty good wrestler. I think she's not pretty good. I think she's great. And I think she looked good. I honestly would not have guessed that she hadn't been in the ring for 10 years. She got in there and did the damn thing. So props to her on that. She's the second least offensive thing about this whole feud. She was just kind of stuck in the middle. So bless her heart. Becky is probably the most annoying thing about this feud. But she's the most annoying thing about that belt right now. Just like the whole, yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do there, but hopefully they come to some sort of conclusion. The quickie and fasty and Suni, that'd be great.
Quickie, fasty, Suni.
Yeah, please. But this match, again, if I was gonna be like A, B, C, or D, I would probably give this match a B. It wasn't bad at all. It's just they had beaten us over the head with this the most out of anything else. This is the match that I knew about. I'm surprised that it was not the main event. But yeah, overall, good match.
Yeah. To offer my thoughts, I agree with you wholeheartedly that I think this was way over promoted. Particularly that like 30-minute slice of Raw, or was it Raw? I think it was Raw.
I think,
but
so.
If it was SmackDown, maybe that. But I mean, on one of those shows, they gave them a 30-minute bit of time, and it was just drug the fuck out. I bitched about it thoroughly there, so I'm not going to bitch about it here. I also made it clear that this was clearly fan service for someone, but it wasn't for me. I'm not the fan that this was appealing to. That said, while the match I felt had a bit of a slow start, it did pick up, and it ultimately had some fun moments. It ended up being a much better match than I thought it would be, and I agree with you. AJ looked good for her first full match back. Now, to sort of give the details of how the match ended up finishing, she ends up getting lynched to tap out to the octopus hold to pick up the win. And this is another one that I would say was okay, but not PLE worthy and very over promoted. I will, however, agree that the least annoying component of this might have been CM Punk, save for one thing, and this is my picadillo with it. CM Punk is once again putting forth the stereotype that the best man is the one who vanishes entirely when his woman's around, and he was CMP whipped. And if that's what you're going with, then so be it, but I ain't here for it. I don't think that is the best husband, is the one that just becomes an absolute subservient fucking bitch to his wife. That makes no sense. What's to be appealing about that? And that is exactly the role he fell into every time AJ stepped into the fucking spotlight with him.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think he wanted to give her moment, since she has not been in the ring for 10 years. Just like he had his moment, nobody was there to talk over him or to cut him off or make it about themselves. It was all about CM Punk, and I think he was trying to do that for his wife. So I thought it was actually pretty endearing.
Yeah,
I thought it was
and that might be the dividing line, is women will think it's right and men will be like pussy whipped.
Maybe, but I think what would matter would be what his wife thinks. And if I thought it was endearing, I hope she thought the same thing.
I'm sure CM Punk will think, as long as she thinks that, it's fine too. Because that was what was conveyed, was that CM Punk only shuts up and vanishes with regards to AJ Lee. He felt entirely beholden and subservient to her as far as every depiction of him since they've been sharing the spotlight. But those were my thoughts on it. And that was the only thing, is that CM Punk felt a little whipped in that scenario. And like the general message being conveyed is that's the husband's role. That's the place. Because they're the faces. And they made a point of the way that, oh, well, see, I can share with my wife and you guys contend for it. And so, like I said, not a match I was dying to see. I don't know who this one was for, but it was a better match. It wasn't anything that that was PLE worthy, and it wasn't anything that this level of promotion required. I absolutely agree with you. This match was way over promoted, and especially considering that there's no belt, there's no real stakes here. I guess other than it furthering the feud between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, which may be for someone, but it's not for me. So it was one of the better matches of the night, but that is not a hugely high bar. It was better than I thought it would be. And that's my thoughts on this one.
Yeah. All right, right on.
And that brings us to the last match of the night, which is Cody Rhodes, the defending champion, returning after 5 weeks of being, I guess, concussed, or at least had his bell rung quite thoroughly by Drew McIntyre kicking his head with a claymore through an announce desk. Versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. And just to kick things off with my thoughts on this one, this was probably the match with one of the most disappointing finishes with me. It was close between that one and the one between Cena and Lesnar, but this one especially disappointed me. The story of this match is that Cody still isn't 100% after Drew put his head through a table with a claymore, as mentioned before, like 5 weeks ago. And even with that, Drew can't win. Now, the story will be because the referee cost him the match, with 2 separate instances where it could be argued that the ref screwed him over. However, I really don't know what they're trying to do with McIntyre if this dude can't pick up a solid victory over a diminished Cody. Then that means he can't beat him on his worst day. He doesn't have a shot of beating him ever.
Yeah.
And he just it sells this idea that Drew just isn't up to scratch for beating the champion. And it diminishes him as a serious contender at all. And I'm frankly quite sick of the ongoing burial of Drew McIntyre. What did this dude do to be booked like this? He's a fucking walking action figure, jacked as hell, always there, always ready to perform, and yet he's booked to be like the biggest jobber in the company. Well, with this finish, I predict Drew bitching about the ref, which would be completely valid, but will be tired and played out immediately, nonetheless. I'm not sure where you go with Drew after booking him like this. He legit looks like he really can't ever beat Cody, and he couldn't do so here while Cody was still messed up from the previous attack. Other than that, they both put on a fairly good match. It's really just the outcome I was displeased with. I honestly think Drew should have gone over here. You gave a good reason why he could beat Cody, and it would have been nothing for Cody to come back and win it back if that's the direction you wanted to go with it. But I feel like they just buried Drew and essentially write him off as someone who could be taken seriously as a contender for the championship at this point. That was my thoughts on this match. What are yours?
Yeah. This was a great match that was disappointing. Like so let's assume for a moment that the outcome of who wins a match for storylines is important. For example, John Cena had to lose to Brock Lesnar, and it had to be a destruction because that's what Brock Lesnar does to John Cena. And it would be strange, as you said earlier, for him to now suddenly, he being John Cena, wreck Brock and win the match. Okay. So we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep these truths, or we're gonna keep these beliefs true. Okay. Drew McIntyre, then, you've just said, can't beat a Cody Rhodes that is at best at 75%. Okay, you injured him, you fucked him up, so now he's having all kinds of issues in the ring. So this should be your fucking moment. Instead, though, Drew McIntyre can't beat him. But Cody Rhodes beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar. And then Brock Lesnar shook his hand. You remember, Brock Lesnar whooped Cody Rhodes' ass. He yeeted his ass all around the ring. He gave him essentially the John Cena treatment. But Cody Rhodes bested Brock Lesnar eventually. He got what John Cena should have gotten at this PLE. He got that. Cody did. Brock Lesnar shook his hand. I ain't gonna fuck with you no more. He's a real one. So Cody goes off into the sunset, and then he has a match with John Cena, who whoops his ass and takes the belt from him. John Cena did. Where does that leave Drew in your storyline? Where does that leave Drew in his abilities? That he can beat a Cody Rhodes at 75%. And that the ref, the 5'4" ref, who is in his way, 5'4", 175-pound at best, ref, got into half of Drew McIntyre's line of vision, and that prevented him from winning because his leg going through that, weak ass wall of plastic and fiberglass. It wrecked him. It wrecked his knee for some reason. And now he can't even run to give his claymore. So, the 75% Cody is gonna beat Drew. What have you done? What have we done with this dude's, what?
Yeah.
So now where do we go with Drew? Are you guys about to fire him? Is he about to go somewhere else? Seriously, I'm being serious, because what else does he have now? You've just made him, guys, I'm so sorry, but you've just made him the Scottish version of Ron Killings. He's now R-Truth. He's a goofy fuck who comes out and he talks some shit, and you think he's gonna do something, and then he gets into the ring and gets his ass beat by everybody. Everybody. Cody, who could whip everybody's ass, but not John Cena's, can whip his ass, but John Cena can whip his ass, but John Cena can't beat the ass of the dude that Cody. Get the fuck out of here with your storylines.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that shit's important or fucking. It doesn't.
John Cena only was able to do that by cheating and kicking people in the nuts and hitting them with a belt.
Yeah. So maybe that's what Drew should have done. Instead of trying to kick him in the head again, maybe he should have just poked him in the eyes. Sportsmanship.
Well, I was a little confused because you mentioned the spot, right? Why did Drew hesitate in the first place? What would cause him to hesitate kicking his head in?
I don't know.
Or was he stalling, waiting for the ref to get into position? And even that, the ref, as you pointed out, 5'4", 175 pounds. Why? I mean, just do it anyway. So that whole
push him out the way like you inevitably did.
Yeah, exactly. But what was the initial hesitation? I mean, why? Why would he even hesitate? He would just
I don't know. He was charging up. He was charging up his attack, and he needed to close his eyes and put his hands to his face and meditate on the ability that his legs needed to kick like thunder. And I love how this man has legs that can kick other humans up like 20 feet of fucking way. Like he can kick them to the moon with claymores. Like that is, by the way, his fucking move. The claymore, the one where he uses his legs, but suddenly he kicks the side of a wall, a thin ass fucking pane wall, and that wrecks his. Shut up, that wrecks his knee. It wrecks your fucking mom's knee. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, come on. Come on. Listen,
Yeah.
I saw this match and I said, just like when I said watching the Vision versus the Usos didn't need this win. The Vision did. Drew fucking McIntyre needed this win. And you guys squashed him. You have no, you have squashed that dude. Where do you even go with him after this? What is he gonna do now? He's gonna come out to the ring. His music is gonna come on. Bickety bacon bits, bickety bacon bits, bickety bacon. He's gonna come out. He's gonna come out to his fucking stupid bacon, bickety bacon, bickety. He's gonna come out. He's gonna get in the ring. He's gonna have the mic. He's gonna walk around. He's gonna be angry and enraged, and he's gonna scream and talk about how his team is new, and he's gonna go on and on and on. He's gonna go backstage, and then somebody is gonna be backstage talking to like Adam or Nick, depending on what fucking show it is. And they're going to be talking about, when is it going to be my time to fight? And then suddenly he's going to come up and he's going to just attack them. And then they're going to give him a fight with like this little peon, no fucking body. He's going to wreck him. And we're going to go, oh yeah, we've seen this before because we motherfucking have. You guys have ruined this dude.
I know your points are all valid. They are, but biggity bacon, biggity bacon.
Like, I mean, come on.
I'm so trying to get it back together. Because it's so accurate. I hear it. I can hear it in his theme music. But you're absolutely right. I feel like we're just running in circles with Mr. McIntyre. And this is a guy who is staying. I mean, you could argue weekly that he doesn't have the best physique in all of pro wrestling, and you'd be wrong. And he's maintaining it he's into his 40s. Him and Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is chiseled, right? Like, he has carved off all the fat. Like, he is chiseled. But he doesn't have the sheer mass to go behind it that Drew does, too. And, like, these are men who are maintaining this shape into their 40s.
Yeah.
And what are you doing with him? Like where does he go from here? You have buried this man. Since 2024 through most of 2025 has been the burial of Drew McIntyre. Rip Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, rip a successful career, because apparently you're just gonna be the foreign villain. You know, you're gonna be the every foreign villain guy. That's you now. Yeah, just come on out to your fucking song and come out and yell in the mic and talk about how your victory is inevitable, and just then lose. Just come right out and lose. Bacon, 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 bacon. Just come on out and fucking lose.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. And I know people were like, well, Cody Rhodes can't lose on his first title defense since winning
shut up.
God damn, he sure could. Especially when you could then say, well, he was still really messed up from getting his head kicked through the damn table. That would be completely valid. Oh, absolutely. Sorry.
There would have been no better time for him to lose on his first title defense than this one, when he was still injured. I thought that's why they were doing it then. Because what other reason would you have for rushing to this match? Shut up! Not you, but
yeah, no, I know who you meant.
Come on.
I agree, and it would have made perfect sense. And this is like, I have said forever that it is better to be satisfying and predictable than to just do the unusual or the unexpected that makes no fucking sense. And that has literally been like what WWE has done this year. Like, we got the worst heel turn in history with John Cena because they wanted to be unpredictable, but they didn't know where they were going to fucking go with it, and they ran it into the ground, wasting half or more of John Cena's retirement tour for The Rock to have come in there and presented an idea that went fucking nowhere.
Yeah, no, they look, they had an idea that was so fucking creative that they didn't even know where it was going. They had no fucking clue, and it went nowhere as expected. Duh. John Cena's not a fucking heel. You don't heel him out on his retirement run, guys.
No. And I mean, I just feel like it was completely wasted. And that can be extended to any time they do something for the sake of just trying to keep the internet wrestling fans guessing. Oh, thought you were smart, Marks. Guess we got you. Well, who are you really screwing when you do something that's unpredictable by way of being just completely out of left field that you have nowhere to go with after that, which has been the problem. What was here's this big Ron Killings thing that went fucking nowhere. So,
Look,
like, you really need to stop trying to just be unpredictable, because it usually means you're non sequitur and you don't know or have a plan to go with when you do that. You just derailed whatever you were doing. That's all you're succeeding at.
My man is on his way out. Ron Killings or R-Truth. He's on his way out. And I don't mean it like a threat. I mean, like, his age is dictating that he will have to stop this sooner rather than later. And this is the run that you guys want to give him. And I'm not surprised, because one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, John Cena, this is his retirement run. And you guys have handled this the way I would expect a city gal to handle a bag of cow shit. You have no fucking clue what you're doing. And that is surprising, because you have John Cena, one of the greatest to ever do this.
The greatest of all time.
And this is what you want to do with him? And I shouldn't be surprised with that, because you gave Goldberg the shittiest fucking goodbye, farewell wrestling match that you could. You have no idea. You have some of the best talent in the game, and you just continue to squander it. I weep. I weep for some of the best heels you have, like Gunther. Fuck if I know what you guys are gonna do with him when he comes back. I just don't know.
Yeah.
And for the record, it's not just Drew McIntyre that are sacrificing their bodies, their time, their livelihood, their career for us, for this company. Not only him, who's nearing 40 and built like an action hero. It's not just him. AJ Styles, like 47, I believe. My man is built like a
as
fucking
jacked as he's ever been.
Like he's in like he's in the middle of transforming into a fucking lichen. Like he's ripped. He's ripped. These dudes are fucking sacrificing themselves, and this is what you give them? You think Drew McIntyre just wakes up looking like that? You know the hours of dedication that dude has to spend in the gym to keep his body like that? You know the control he has to have with what he puts in his mouth for us. And this is the run you give him?
I mean, just to put it into perspective, yes, they're probably on steroids. I don't know if anyone wants to diminish somebody's accomplishments over that, but even if you're on steroids, you still have to spend fucking shit tons of your time and discipline in the gym and what you eat. So it doesn't diminish anything.
Yeah, you don't fucking get steroids and then wake up ripped. That's not how that fucking shit works.
No, if anything, you take steroids and you don't work out, you just get fucking fat. So
yeah, you got to put in more work
like a fiend.
Yes.
Moving on from that, this is these men not only doing this into their 40s, but they're doing it with the grueling on the road schedule that WWE has. So it's even more difficult than just say any other person trying to maintain this level of fitness. It's ridiculous the amount of travel and schedule and discipline that is required for these individuals to stay in this kind of shape, flying city to city, trying to find a place to work out, trying to figure out where they can go eat that isn't going to destroy their diet that they have to maintain. Because God help you, if you are fat even a little bit, they will bury you on this television show and you will jump down to the bottom of the roster. So it's absolutely imperative that they stay as disciplined as they possibly can. And these are individuals that are doing it well into an age where it gets incrementally harder with each passing decade to do so. You've got Roman Reigns showing up in the best shape he's ever been in. It's crazy. And you could make arguments about guys like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar who do limited appearances that they have carved themselves out much more time to go and stay in this shape. And you would be right, because sometimes, like in the case of AJ Styles, they go away on an injury vacation and they come back more jacked than they've ever been because they didn't have to deal with the weekly grueling fucking travel schedule. Drew McIntyre is there every week, every show, all the time, in perfect fucking shape to do his work. And this is how you do him.
Yeah, like,
fuck you. If I was a wrestler and I was looking at how you have dealt your talent, cutting lots of them in 2025,
yeah, hell no,
burying others, when they have to retire or they're giving their final matches, it's just a shit show. I wouldn't trust you with my fucking career.
Hell no.
It's absurd. And so it's absolutely, I mean, I would be looking around testing my options, because it's my understanding, at least in AEW, I don't know about Impact, TNA, or New Japan, or any of these others that have a competitive price rate on their contracts, but it's my understanding AEW's is, I would seriously be considering it, watching how badly WWE's track record has been with fumbling people's careers, fumbling their retirements, and not booking them that well. Because I don't know, they've hit 40 and therefore they are now in retirement zone, and their only purpose is to put over the next level of talent who's going to keep the show on the road.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't wrong. Yeah. So, overall, what did you think of this PLE?
My final review. I would be tempted to make this top tier for Io and Vicaire alone, but an entire show one match does not make. And everything else surrounding that match was a mid-performance that could have been seen on any given Raw or SmackDown. And to be quite honest, the rest of the show didn't elevate to belong on what is a go out of your way to pay for it paid live event.
Yeah.
So for me, I would probably rate this somewhere between a 6 or a 7 out of 10 neck nubs for Wrestlepalooza. It really didn't deliver anything mind-blowing aside from that women's championship match. So this would be mid-tier, not top tier, unfortunately. A fairly tepid first PLE on ESPN for the WWE, in my opinion. That's my review.
Yeah, I would give Stephanie and Io's match 6 stars. It was phenomenal. And everything else, take that out. Put that match over here, and everything else combined, I would give 2 fucking stars, which means this is a 4-star fucking show for me. 4, not 7, not 6, not 5, 4, because this was the weakest. And the endings of at least 2 of the matches could go straight to hell. I'm pissed that they did not give the belt to Drew McIntyre, the dude that they felt was worth it whenever the pandemic hit. Whenever everybody was locked in their homes, then he could hold the belt, and they haven't give him a decent run since. And I think that's stupid. You're wasting this man's time and every fucking body else's. This PLE was a goddamn disgrace. They need to be ashamed of themselves. Like, absolutely. 4 stupid neck nubs. That's all they get.
Hey, fair enough. I can see the perspective for that. I didn't go lower because the matches were mediocre. They weren't bad. Like nobody was a sucking chest wound of a match, although the Usos' performance in their match could get close to that at times. And that's a real shame to say it. I say that with nothing but great love for the characters
Oh yeah, I
and
don't.
that
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah,
and Jay
yeah.
do. I'm a mark for them, but their in-ring performance really suffers. Like I think it would be fair to say that as much as I love Jimmy and Jay, they have never had a ginormously high work rate. And when I say work rate, I'm not talking about just showing up for work, but actually like really going in the ring and showing out. I think the last time I saw Jey Uso really put on a work rate match was that match where he tapped out Gunter, and that was it. Usually, the most of the rest of the time, they're mid as far as their in-ring performance. Um, and they were a little sloppier than that on this particular night, and that's unfortunate because it's the opposite time to do it. Like
Yeah.
you should have really been up leveling, with the vision and making that the match, especially since it's your reunion. So I can totally see where you're coming from, and I think it's just as valid. I may have just been a little kinder because I didn't see anything that was absolutely abysmal. But
Yeah.
your perspective, I agree with. This was mediocre. If I regret that this would be paid for. This is bad. Um, I wouldn't want to buy a ticket to something like this. I would be fine to follow it up like with coverage after the fact to maybe see as much of Io and Vaquer, but everything else I would be fine if I had missed this and just watched the upcoming Raw where they are guaranteed to spend 20 minutes of the show or more recapping everything. So this would be terrible to pay for. It would be bad. This was right next to Saturday Night Main Event, which I mean, I went on at length about how terrible those specials are. Like they are garbage. They are worse than the worst Raws or SmackDowns.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that. I really don't want to be negative towards pro wrestling in the WWE because when it's great, it is the best shit ever. But it's precisely because it has the capability of being so good that when it's mediocre as crap or phoned in or just badly booked, it needs to be called out. I'm not here to glaze WWE and be a yes man for any dumb, stupid ass thing they do. I'm here because I love what it's capable of being and I expect more from it.
Yeah.
A true fan, if you will. Well,
Yeah.
that has been our review of WWE's Wrestlepalooza. And I want to thank everybody who joined us for this episode. And I invite you to watch for our upcoming coverage of, because it was a big pay-per-view PLE weekend. We had Wrestlepalooza and we had AEW's All Out. And while we don't generally cover the day-to-day television shows of AEW, we absolutely will cover their pay-per-views because they are some of the best wrestling that pro wrestling writ large, doesn't matter what company, that you're going to find. If you're a fan of pro wrestling, I encourage that you take a look at these pay-per-views because you always get your money's worth out of those. I regret I cannot say the same from WWE right now. But we do have a show coming up for All Out. And then we should resume our coverage of the normal WWE television with this upcoming Friday Night SmackDown. So we look forward to seeing everybody then. And until then, I don't think there's much for me to do but roll the outro.
Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest AEW and WWE news and shows. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social media for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.